Hey NASCAR fans, and welcome back to Comic Studio. And where today we're going to be searching for cars. It means it's absolutely going to be for Pixar cars, but what I actually tried to do, this is going to be for around for the previous video that we just already searched the right video for. So everything is absolutely for probably for some sort of like for probably for some kind of Pixar cars and stuff as well. We already checked it out of this last video that we just recently uploaded, and probably that before we're gonna get into this as well, I'm not very sure. Things that I wasn't gonna be pretty interested before, and it was gonna be a little bit worse. I don't really think that Comic Studio has gone too far with that explicit content like it's well. But today we're not gonna be talking about for like anything as well for something like this thing as before. This is where I remembered when I was very small that the first time that I just literally watched in the film movie Cars. Comic Studio, which means we're going to get in here in this comic creator, and this will be for a lucky day for my special like this thing as well. So we wouldn't able to be seeing for such as characters, and we're going to be showing up for some spoilers. Everything is already read as well, but some drafts that I just absolutely added a little bit from as well. So we're not gonna be worried about for this thing as well. Anyways, we're not gonna be trying to find out what is going on around here. So this is absolutely for the titles, and probably there's no some kind of the effects as well, except for backgrounds, probably based on for unreal locations. This is absolutely ridiculously for one thing. It's not 100% real, and it was absolutely probably the backgrounds like the Radiator Springs Motor Speedway of the South, but probably that must be for only two locations, but that doesn't mean to add it a little bit more as well. And so yes, we already turned on the spoilers, and especially that features like anything as well, that a whole bunch of collections like those things. I didn't own of this thing as well. It's owned by Pixar Animation. Just probably in case we turn on the spoilers, this is absolutely Disney Pixar's like this thing as well, and it has 4 sections, and we absolutely showing up for spoilers to see deceased people or cars, or I mean cars like these things. Possibly that must be for absolutely for one kind that features McQueen, Mater, Doug Hudson, Sally, Sheriff, Luigi, Guido, Fillmore, Sheriff thing over here. There's SARS, Flo, and Ramon, Lily, Red, Mac, Stanley, the Tractors, Frank, the King, Strip Weathers, Chick Hicks, Dale Earnhardt Jr. based on real life, Michael Schumacher based on Ferrari F430, and Mia and Tia could be Miata's, Dale Car Trip as well. Another one is Bob Cutlass, DJ, Wingo Boost, Snotrod, Tex Dinoco, Fred, and Albert Andretti. What is this? Mario Andretti, and many more NASCAR like those, some sort of the Piston Cup races. The founders are Rusty and Dusty. The pit crew could be for not Chuck as well. There's Trev Diesel little locomotive as well. And there could be Jerry recycled batteries over here. Another one is the Gray Hauler, and I'll loft it as well. Another one is Albert Hinky as well. Other Piston Cup cars, and finally there must be Todd. There's probably a lot more missing than copyright claims like as well. And that must be entire cars like themselves that we probably seen here whatsoever. In the Cars to film, there must be Finn McMissile, Holly Shiftwell, Rod Redline, Agent Leland Turbo, Sir Miles Axelrod, the Zundap automobile car as well, which means it's actually for the professor as well, and other kinds of the lemon automobiles like those things. Which the race cars features like Francesco Brunelli, Jeff Gorvette, Lewis Hamilton, Max Chanel, Raul, and Carlo Veloso, Shoe to the Rookie, Nigel Gearsley, and Miguel Camino, which concludes from Rip Kuklatsky or I'm probably didn't remember around here as well. I have heard it since Ned Wheeler, or since Ned Wheeler, probably Rip Klutzkowski. And finally, there must be Cars 3 for the next generation cars, such as Bobby Swift, Brick Yardley, and Carl Weathers, Jackson Storm, Cruz Ramirez, Mrs. Fritter, Junior Moon, Smokey, and other kinds like there's River Scott over here, and much more from this anything as well, which configures like the police cars, like any more like or other kinds of vehicle stuff. Imagine this expectation that was insane looking around from Grand Theft Auto loading screen image like here for something, but this is absolutely way more cooler, and that I just turn it a little bit epic as well. Even though that we just completely added a round of Cookie Run characters, one NASCAR racing vehicle battling for the versus McLaren F1 GTR right over here on the long tail. Probably there is chaos happening here in Los Angeles International Speedway. We just covered up Mater over here, but probably that I just completely reviewed all of the characters that costed around for a few minutes time. And finally, that we absolutely have one character could be for Dale Earnhardt Sr. That could be a fan-made character. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be reviewing for some characters because I just completely previewed all of the characters like pretty meanwhile as well. In the meantime, we probably find out what the user submitted sprites are going to be a little bit for this thing as well. So I'm probably sure this is absolutely the Fat CEO, and probably we wouldn't able to be foreseeing like those things. Even the eyes that could peek to that a little bit for this thing as well. But unfortunately, we should not able to be showing for some user comics. Probably that I don't want to think that doesn't gonna be for a little bit for making a little bit sense like this. So we're just gonna be covered up for some a little bit for this thing as well. So this is absolutely for a little bit for property use, and I cannot believe it for some sort of like the unused content wasn't going to be here for some sort of the franchise. And it was probably that still remains nothing right here as well, because due to their property from their Pixar animations, like here from their sprites, and probably there must be Hot Wheels vehicles have just crashed around for like this thing as well. The Formula Oval and the Ford GT40 survived out of like this in the side as well, that they take on to the finish line or take it on to the final lap. And as you can see, we added Rye Cookie and Arlie around here in Radiator Springs on the front, like here. That this is where that I just seen here for the first town that I just see for some sort of the cutest town in Carburetor County, including, I'm probably sure, that must be the Willie's Butte. Added South Park characters like the adults and one child over here added for some kind of a little bit as well. So we just eventually added Adventure Cookie from the Witch's Tower, and the Oven Break could be for around Scorpion Cookie, or waiting for them to be attacking like this thing as well. McLaren F1 Longtail GTR versus Chevrolet SS NASCAR, battling towards into the finish line, even that you know it is. Or I just completely remember back in the day when I was absolutely on television as well. Since for the first time that I just seen this, I absolutely dreaming how Wonder liked it pretty well as well. And also in Cookie Run Kingdom background, there must be Tow Mater right in front of Amite and Marley. And finally, within those, some kind of like those things, behind the haulers could be the Segway Man, Riskuma, for like over here for some sort of like this as well. So I didn't expect that we're going to be saying this out, but Hear Me Out could be Riskuma, and it could be right here on that trailer. Expect include for the Cookie Droid, including the P word of that some kind of cloud as well. And especially there must be Magura around them as well. So that will be the end of this video. And by the way, that is just completely using the studio crossovers, and that was absolutely that I just pretty like it itself, and that was amazing. That should be absolutely added to my favorites as well, even for the bookmarks from the last video that they just recently added as well. Thankfully, that will be the end of this video. So if you'd like to check it out of this comic studio or comic creator, make sure that you're going to be checking out link in description, or you might going to be checking out for some more, including for the such as for the main website to browse some comics, whatever that you gotta be want to do this as well, to see this in user comics. Thanks for watching, for all your support, and I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll talk to many lads, comic studio users all later, including for such as NASCAR fans as well. And I'll be in the next 2 days that I'm gonna be see you in another video.